A lot of agents will share with you that there's no best time or worst time to sell or buy your HDB. But what if there is? Today, let me share with you why today's market is the best time for you to sell and buy. Okay, that's a very good question. In fact, sometimes I do get questions like this. Firstly, you must understand there are property cycle, and there are 4 stages to a property cycle. Number 1 will be the rising stage, whereby the prices are rising. Number 2 will be that peak stage, whereby the prices are at the peak. And the third will be that correction, whereby the price will go down again. And then the fourth, there will be the recovery stage. So property, it is a cycle, and they go through these 4 stages of cycle every single time. So to really understand, how do we actually buy low? Of course, to buy low, it is to buy at that lowest point when the market has peaked and it has corrected, and to buy at the lowest possible point. However, things looks easy on the paper. In reality, it's only in hindsight you are able to achieve that. So how do we actually do that in actual reality? I always say this, it is really not about trying to time the market, but I feel that your time in the market, it is more important. What do I mean by that? For example, I've known people that when COVID hits in year 2020, I've heard and seen people sold off their HDB because they think that the market is going to crash, right? They sell their HDB, they think that the price will be corrected and then they can enter again. However, did things happen that way? No. We all know, since COVID to even now, the HDB prices has risen over 50%. In fact, 52.3%. So what do I mean by that? So for every 100,000, your HDB has increased by another 50,000. So if you were to sell off that, you'll be stuck, because if you sell off during that time, you can't enter already because the price has went up. I have also helped owners to sell and buy during COVID times. I remember I sold off their Sengkang HDB 4-room at a good price. They wanted to upgrade to a bigger HDB, and I helped them to buy an executive unit in Serangoon North. At that time, the prices around in Serangoon North executive flats were around 700-ish to 800-ish. The executive flats today are going for over $1 million over dollars. So easily, my clients have gained 200 over thousand in such a short span of time. So what is better? To time the market, which is very, very uncertain, or versus the time in the market that when you want to sell off your HDB, what is your plan? Because to me, staying invested, your time being in the property market is more important than trying to time the market, which is very uncertain and cause a lot of anxiety and fear. I always say that we have to come back to the fundamentals. We have to sit down, go through the numbers, look at our budget, our loan amount, what is the cash we have, and look at what can we afford. So for example, even for recent times, that when people sell off their HDB and when they buy another HDB, people will think, hey, am I selling high? And am I also buying high? So the truth is this. So if they were to sell and buy 2 years back, in today's market, they're actually sitting on a paper profit. So that's why I say it really boils down to, when you sell, what is your next move? If you do not have clarity in your next move, I'd rather you do not sell off your HDB. So if you sell off your HDB, make sure you have a plan. What do you want to buy? And like I said, your time in the market is more important, because as long as you are vested in property, and even as the market go up, or even when the market goes down, as long as you're still holding on that property, the market will also rebound, will also go back up. So eventually, you will still be able to see that gain that you're looking for. In today's time, we are actually in stage 3, which is the correction stage. We are tilting down, right? We are coming down from that peak period. We are in fact at that correction point. And you know, being in the Singapore market, you must understand that Singapore properties market do not usually have a huge fluctuations. So even though we are right now in a correction stage, that is why we are actually at the very sweet spot of people that are thinking of wanting to sell and buy. Because it is during this correction stage, the prices are relatively stable. You are not at the peak stage whereby you sell off at the peak and you're also entering at the peak. So we can see from the data, there is a huge supply of BTOs coming up from the government. So that is actually a huge portion of the demand is actually going off to the BTO government. When we look at the supply, government is actually launching a lot of HDB BTOs, and for the subsequent years, there will be a lot more HDB MOP, coming out to the resale market. So when we look at that, with the supply increasing and that demand decreasing, there is actually a downward force pressure on the price, and that is why the price is going through a correction stage. And when we look at that, you might ask, what does this mean for me? As a seller in this market, as you are planning to sell and buy, I would say that usually at this stage, it is a very sweet spot stage. Why? Because we are still selling at a very good price and we can cash out the most. And when we enter the market again and when we buy, there are units out there that are priced very reasonably because we are at the correction stage. And that is why whereby we are at this sweet spot where you can still sell high and buy at a fair value HDB. Anyways, if you learned something in this video and you want to sell a HDB at the highest possible price at this correction stage, I've created a free training videos with the 3 strategies that I've created that I've used to help hundreds over of my clients achieve that. Click the link in the description to get access.